right now. Isn't that so exciting, Leia? She doesn't look like she cares all that much. Leia, you're live on YouTube. Do you have anything you want to say to anyone? Anything at all, Leia? No, she's very eepy today. Oh, hey, Goblin. What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Hey, Ripley. Hey, Spatial. Hey, Chris. Hey, Z. Hey, Sarah. What are your thoughts on cottage cheese? You know, I've come around on cottage cheese. Yeah, she's sleepy. Oh my god, she was such a monster last night. I need you to know how much of a monster she was last night. Actually, full disclosure, I got up this morning around 7. I did like 3 hours of work, and then at like 10:15, I went back to bed. I went back to bed for an hour and slept until 11:15. Because these monsters were just the worst last night. No, I'm not watching the match right now. Yeah. I'm focused on other things at the moment. Thank you, Hawk. I'm glad you liked the beaver video. Yeah, I'm coming around on cottage cheese. I will say this, like a couple weeks ago, like 2-3 weeks ago, something like that, I made this like cottage cheese mac and cheese recipe. You know, it's supposed to be like high protein and like better for you than like regular mac and cheese. And it wasn't very good. I get why people on diets do that, but also it's just like, nah, I'd rather clog my arteries. Hope you didn't mess up your leg falling over. No, Red, honestly, I feel fine. I feel totally fine. Yeah, I'm not that hurt. I could feel it in the small of my back a little bit yesterday morning. So I fell, when was that? Today's Tuesday. That was Sunday night when I fell with the Huskies. So yesterday, Monday morning, I felt it a little bit in the small of my back. And like if I like rub the spot, I can tell that like I hit awkwardly, but I'm not like hobbled or anything like that. I can still, you know, I'm fine. You sound like a person who hasn't slept well or is having an allergic reaction. Thanks, Rima. Blend your cottage cheese if you're using non-cottage cheese applications. That's what I did. Yeah. I made like a cheese sauce with it. Yeah. Well, I just got a notification. Someone bought some merch. If you're in the chat, thank you. Your name's Haley. Thank you so much, Haley. That's very sweet of you. You didn't have to do that. Comment of the week candidate. Thank you, Mom's the boss. I'm real. No, you don't have to, this has been going for like 3 minutes. You don't have to apologize. Are you watching the World Cup? Is that something happening in your city? I was kind of obsessively watching the World Cup. And the only team left that I care about is England. And I understand that the rest of the world is like, we don't want England to win. I would argue that you should not want Argentina to win. But, yeah. Thank you, Manders. Does Leia know I would give my kidney for her? She does now. Do you ship worldwide? I think we do, Martin. You know, I use a company called Fourth Wall to manage the merch. I am not sure what countries they don't ship to. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much fluff do you pick off yourself daily? You know, it's not that bad, Ash. However, I do just buy like I buy clothing that is very mostly I buy like clothing that's meant for like outdoors, like hiking pants or things like that. Or I found like athleisure wear, like basically anything that like Lululemon or Vuori makes. Husky fur doesn't stick to. So I buy a lot of that. I buy a lot of like heavily synthetic stuff, which probably isn't very good, probably isn't very sustainable, certainly not as fashionable as I would like. But I'm not covered in Husky fur 24/7. However, my home is. How would you rate your improvement in life that the Huskies have caused? Infinite, Coyote. I mean, Alicia says, my first Derpski live. Well, thanks for being here, Alicia. I'm sorry, this is about as dynamic as they get, Alicia. A lot of people are like, oh, you should do lives when they're not sleeping. And it's like, I can't. I'm physically incapable of doing that. I need them to be sleepy in order to engage with the chat. Tess, thank you so much. $5 Canadian super chat. Do Leia and Archer sleep if you were ever away and someone's babysitting them, or do they keep the babysitter awake too? No, they sleep through the night, Tess. They only do this with me. I will tell a funny story, though. This is a very funny story. My brother-in-law, Michael, which if you watch my merch video from like 2 weeks ago, he's the dumb hottie who I made wear the Leia crop top in that merch video. We were away for like 10 days, and he was staying in the house, and he was like, oh, I'm just gonna sleep in the basement so I don't have to sleep in your bed. And I was like, that's a bad idea. Archer is going to be very upset. He's going to want to get in the bedroom. And Michael was like, it's okay. I'll just leave the baby gate at the top of the steps closed. And I was like, that's a stupid idea. Because Archer is just going to be really, really upset that he can't get to you at night. And both my brother-in-law and my wife were like, okay, it'll be fine. And on the first night, Archer was screaming at the top of his lungs at the top of the baby gate, just like jumping up and down on the baby gate, crashing into it. Michael could not sleep. And he's like, before we left, he was like, I'm a sound sleeper. I'll be fine. I was like, no, you won't, but okay. And he came up and he opened the baby gate so that Archer could get to him in the basement. He was sleeping in the spare bedroom in the basement. And then he like did the whole thing where he's like, okay, now you can get to the basement, but I'll close the bedroom door. And then Archer was just like pounding on the bedroom doors, and Michael was like, okay, I'll leave the bedroom door open. And then because all of Archer's toys he likes to keep out on the deck, and it's Seattle and it rains all the time, his Stuffy, his duck, was soaking wet. And so at like 3 a.m, he ran downstairs and jumped on the bed with Michael and plopped this soaking wet sponge, basically wet, cold, heavy, onto Michael's face on the bed. And Michael was like, yeah, I just picked it up and yeeted it across the room. Tried to go back to sleep. But it was like, we were gone for 10 days. And by day 3, Michael was texting us. He was like, come home. Come home. Cut your vacation short. Come home now. This is so I will say they're the worst with me. They are absolutely the worst with me. And ironically, the more comfortable with the person they feel, the more empowered they feel to be like a monster too. But they actually listen to my wife. When my wife is like, Archer, go to bed, he goes to bed. He doesn't do that for me. So sometimes on some occasions, I will wake my wife up and be like, can you please tell Archer to go to bed? Because he does not care what I have to say. So I didn't do that last night. My wife was gone all weekend from Saturday until Monday, yesterday evening. She was summiting Mount Shuckson here in Seattle, or in Washington. It's actually much closer to the Canadian border. So Coyote Bone says, I thought he was single too. Yeah, I'm deeply unlovable. Well, maybe I made her up. Coyote. It's entirely possible I invented her. I don't know. I watch my content. 1, I've never seen any evidence of a wife. 2, don't you get gay vibes from me? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You watch my content. You get there's a little gay vibe in there. So I don't know. Maybe I made her up. Thanks, Goblin. Thanks for backing me up. She does. She actually came up with the nickname Bug. She started calling Archer Bug before I did. And I kind of rejected that nickname for like the first month we had him. And then after that, I leaned in. I was like, never mind. He is bugged. You're right. No, hey Laura, it's not even that she's stealth. She's much prettier than I am. She's like, I am punching way above my weight class. So I would love for her to appear on content so that people know how much of like a dime piece I was able to bag. But she just doesn't want to appear on content. We have received some creepy DMs and she was just like, I don't need to be on camera. And like every time I just get her to the point where she's like, maybe I will be on camera, we get some like seriously creepy DM, and it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be. Cause like, show your ring outside. Well, I'm not wearing a ring outside her. And also, it's none of your business. How about that? You ever think about that? Did you ever think about that for a second, outsider? Were you ever like, is this my business? Ellie, I agree. I completely agree, Ellie. No, I didn't think it was creepy, Aaron. But I'm also like, okay, I don't need to prove to you my relationship status. I don't feel, you can believe me or not. I don't care. So, are you a trophy husband? No, I have a lot of downsides. I'm doing okay, Maggie. I am just like, I'm over it. I've just been, if I'm either like walking dogs, making videos, or working. That is all I've been doing basically since June. Took a little bit of a break to go visit family in North Carolina, but that was it. That was like 4 days. And yeah, so that's all I have been doing. I miss streaming. I want to stream all the time. I miss hanging out with you guys, but yeah, so we're working on it. Your comedic prowess makes up for any downfalls. Thank you, Manders. It's very sweet of you to say. OMG, my name is also Maggie, so that scared me. Sorry, Blue Gold. Not to sound creepy, but I've seen pictures of your wife on your... Okay, all right. Thank you, Sarah. that didn't sound creepy. I just try not to advertise my personal Instagram. Can people listen to that chick in ABQ? I assume you mean Albuquerque. I don't know what you're talking about. Favorite football team? Liverpool. First time catching live in quite a while. Glad to have you back. Thank you, Ellie. What time is it for you? It is 1:05 p.m. Every time I'm around Green Lake, I always hope to see you guys. We only go to Green Lake a couple. I don't live that far from Green Lake, but I can't really walk it. Well, I have walked it before, but it's a hike. It's like the entire walk is getting there. So I normally drive to Green Lake and then walk around the lake. We do that like a couple times a month, just as like a change of pace. Have Leia and Archer gotten into any new shenanigans lately? Not really. Not really. I mean, if they get into shenanigans, I make a video about it. You know. No, she doesn't need CPR. She's just snoozing. She'll get annoyed with me if I touch her. I love you, Leia. You're such a good girl. Her beautiful floof in the wind. Yeah, thank you, Hopey Lopey. So cool to hear you live. I don't know why, but it's cool. Thanks, Pugsy. I'm using a mic. I don't normally use a mic for these. I normally just use my phone mic. I'm trying to invest more in like my production value. So I want to get the dedicated cameras for lives and things like that. I'm trying to up my content game. And this month in particular, I've got 4 longer YouTube videos in the mix, which will one will be published each week for the remainder of July. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm hoping to just keep that cadence going moving forward, like a full-length YouTube video every week. Which so much of this year has been setting up the infrastructure for that, like working with editors, investing in cameras and things like that to make my content a little bit more intentional, I guess is the word I'm looking for, and to make it sustainable. Because I am not a full-time content creator right now. I would love to be. That's kind of my dream job. But the way I do it with short-form content, it is not sustainable at all. So I have to adjust how I do things to make it sustainable. How's her leg recovering? Well, Abhishek, thank you so much for asking. Also, great to see you, man. Thanks for being here. It's a mixed bag. So I actually think her knee has recovered completely from surgery, but it's this one right here, this one on top, her left hind leg, that is giving us the problem right now. And that, she had surgery on that like 3 years ago. And I don't know if it's her knee or if it's her hip, but it is giving, it's a big problem. She's having trouble sitting. She won't sit properly, and she won't use these stairs right here to get in the backyard. So anytime she has to pee or anything, I have to leash her up and take her out front. She just won't use these stairs. Now, I will say the stairs thing I do think is a mental block. I think it's a mental block because she will use other stairs consistently with no hesitation. So like, for example, that video I posted a couple days ago where Archer tripped me while we were running through the park at night, which, by the way, probably a dumb idea to run through the park at night. But like right before then, we ran upstairs and Leia was leading that charge. She was like, let's go. So and we still like walk 6 miles a day. She does her jump spins and everything. So I do think the stairs thing is a mental block, but she's in like genuine pain or discomfort, I think, because I don't know how to describe it, but if she's standing still, usually when she's like drinking water or eating, she'll just, her back left leg, she'll like tap it on the ground and like pick it up constantly like that while she's eating. So she's basically like standing on 3 legs. So I know that that one's giving her trouble. And we confirmed through an x-ray from like a year and a half ago that she has some arthritis in her back spine. So a number of things have happened. One, she's back on some arthritis medication that I have to give her injections for. Although I am very annoyed because I get my medication from Costco and they were just like out of syringes. So she's had one injection, but now I can't give her anymore because I'm just waiting for them to give me more syringes, which is annoying. But if they don't call me today, I'm going to start calling other pharmacies tomorrow just to get syringes so that I can give her her meds. She's also back on some painkillers and an anti-inflammatory, specifically gabapentin and carprofen, those two. So I give her one of those a day in addition to the arthritis medication, in addition to some supplements, some joint supplements. So that's everything that we're doing, plus some exercises that we picked up from the physical therapist after her surgery. So all of that is everything that we're doing to address Leia's issues. In practice, it hasn't really slowed her down because, like I said, she still wants to exercise constantly. She still wants to murder Archer. She still wants to run and jump and skip and play and walk 6 miles. What I have noticed anecdotally is that we can walk for about 2.5 miles, and then she's like, okay, I need to take a 15-minute break. I need to take a 10 or 15-minute break. And then she'll just lie down. More like 10 minutes. But then she gets up and she's ready to go again. So, frankly, as long as she's still able to walk as much as she wants to walk, like that's the thing I care most about. What a good stretch. Look at that stretch. Are you kidding me, Leia? But, yeah, I mean, still, she's clearly in some discomfort. And it's clearly that leg right there that's giving us the issues. So that's where we're at. She is the best stretches. Thank you, Brainrot. I agree. Leia and Archer are my therapy. Oh, thank you, Hannah. I'll bill you. Is the vinyl floor too slippery for their feet? We don't have vinyl. We have hardwood. Actually, now that you bring that up, we did have a couple of incidents in the last week with one of the treat stores that we go to. They have a cement floor or concrete floor or whatever. And it's like polished. And it's actually pretty slick. And there was a dog there who I'm really annoyed by this. I would never like shame a person on the internet. Especially like I would, but they would have to have like 3 million followers. You know what I mean? They would have to have more followers than me and do something I think is shameworthy for me to like actually shame them. Short of that, I wouldn't do anything, you know, because I don't know this guy. I just, between you, me, and the wall, I don't think this guy had good control of his dog. And I don't think this guy had good situational awareness for how high energy his dog was and how little control he had over his dog. And he walked in and this dog was going nuts. And you know, cards on the table. Archer wasn't responding great. Archer was meeting this dog's energy, is what I would say. Okay, Goblin. Yes, I did that, but they have more followers than me. Also, did you listen to the recording? Super racist. That's my bar, Goblin. I know we're going on a tangent right now, but that's my threshold. Do you know how like nakedly racist and homophobic you have to be for me to be like, okay, I'll name you publicly? Thank you, Goblin. I thought so, but yeah. Anyway, back to the story, and we're in this treat store, and this guy just kept like getting closer to us, and he had no control over his dog, and he wasn't like on a short leash or anything. And also weirdly, he was using a chain as a leash. And like it was just like a chain, and I heard him telling them like, yeah, I need an industrial strength chain, otherwise he'll break through it. And like I kind of think that's bullshit. I'm like, they make some pretty strong dog leashes. You don't need a chain. But he also couldn't like handle the chain, you know what I mean? And it was a long chain. And so and my thing is I use pretty long leashes. I have 5-foot leashes, but if I'm around dogs, I will shorten the leads. You know, I'll like wrap them around my hand or grip them shorter because that gives you more control. And this guy wasn't making any effort to do that. And yeah, it was just, yeah, Ryan, it was just, I was like, this guy, like, something's up. Like, clearly they're perceiving reality a little bit different from me. And I kept trying to move away and go like further and further back into the store and like keep like objects and things between me and this dog. And he just kind of kept like obliviously coming towards us. And Archer was reacting badly. Archer was like, you know, which was bad. So I kind of pulled on him and I was like, Huskies, we just got to go quickly. And I started walking. And I didn't realize that Leia had lost traction and she'd slipped on the floor. And so I was kind of dragging her. I dragged her for like 3 or 4 feet and I had no clue I was dragging her until I turned around and saw. And then she got back up and she wouldn't put weight on her leg. So then I felt like the biggest asshole on the planet because it was like, oh my God, I've hurt Leia. And she recovered and she was okay after that. But since then, she like will lock her knees in the treat store, in this particular treat store. Like she will walk up to the counter and say hi to everyone and get treats, but she won't go any further. And the last couple of times I went in there, I just didn't bring the dogs. I just left them behind. So, and I went without them and I felt like I was betraying them because going to the treat store is their favorite thing. But the time before that, I had to get one of the treat store employees to like hold on to Leia for me while Archer and I went and like picked up their puppy ice cream and that sort of thing. So yeah, that was just like such a bummer. And you know, so she hurt herself and I was like, I wanted to get mad at this guy for having no situational awareness, but I was also like, okay, like, some people just don't have any situational awareness. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, it is what it is. And also, again, just between you, me, and the wall, the guy looked kind of dumpy. He just aesthetically, I was like, I mean, you left the house looking like that. Clearly, clearly you live in a different world than I do. So I was like, your priorities are very different than mine. So it would fall on deaf ears. So I was like, do you not own a mirror? I guess not. But it is what it is. So I don't want to shame the guy. But and actually the treat store employees, I could kind of tell they were getting a little frustrated with the guy too. Because his dog was like obviously like so high energy. He had such little control over the dog. I could tell that the treat store employees were like, I couldn't hear exactly what their conversation was, but they were like, you know, maybe if he's like this high energy, he would be more comfortable in the car. And the guy was like, nah, I got him. It's like, buddy. So like you just can't, subtext isn't a thing for you, huh? You know, reading between the lines isn't what one of your skill sets. But anyway, so long story short, now Leia will go in that treat store, but she won't go further than the counter. Like, period. She just locks her knees and she's like, I'm not going. So she gets these mental blocks. Like if she hurt herself in one spot, she will never go to that spot again. And this has happened a few times. Like if a dog has ever attacked her in a spot, like she had to stop going to a daycare once. I took them to a daycare until Archer was about 2 years old. I'd take them to daycare once a week just to like keep them socialized with dogs. And she was attacked by a dog there. And she just never wanted to go back. She locked her knees out front, refused to go in, and that was it. We never went back. So I have a friend who one of Leia's first boyfriends, beautiful husky named Cade. And what a sweet boy. And Leia and Archer really love Cade and vice versa. But their roommate's dog was a big Malamute named Cloud. And he and Leia got into it. And Leia was like, I can never go back to their house. And the last time I went to their house, like, Leia locked her knees and was like, I don't want to go inside. She was just like so upset because, you know, Cloud really, like, Cloud didn't like Leia. And yeah, so just little things like that. So long story short, I think Leia has a mental block about these steps because I think like a week after her surgery, she tried to go down the steps and hurt herself. And that was my fault. I just turned my back for a second and I caught her like halfway down the steps. And she made it halfway down and she looked like she hurt herself. And then she came back up and that was the last time I saw her on the steps. And that was November. So, yeah. Yeah. So we're working on it. It is what it is. Hey, Yanzi, please goes a long way. Just saying. Abhishek says, surely Jonathan would remember who had the story about the grandmother's toe. Yeah, that was Moose. But I don't see Moose in the chat right now. Unless I missed it. And it was the stepmother, not grandmother. Yeah, I'm working on it, Hopi. I'm working on it. No, I don't think so, Claire. It's just, I mean, maybe we could try it, but like, I can't get her close to the steps. She doesn't want to go any near the steps. So, Edward, I'll show Archer. Don't worry. I mean, he's right here. He's right over there. He's underneath the pizza oven, but it's so sunny over there, and I'm trying to stay out of the sun so I don't burn. So, I'll show Archer before the live ends. I promise. Guys, don't use all caps and stop being demanding. Yeah, listen to Goblin. She will find you. She will find you. She will find you. No one is safe. I take it you are not into football. No, I am. I very much am. No, full disclosure, I kind of forgot the game was on today. Well, no, I didn't forget. I just thought it was later. So, I'm missing it. It's fine. I mean, I kind of don't care. France or Spain. I guess I want. No, I don't know who I want to win. I don't know. I mean, I'm an England supporter, so I'm over the moon that England are in the semis. However, I don't think they're going to beat Argentina because I think they're playing Argentina and they're playing the refs, but we'll see. So, my mom wants France to win because it's Bastille Day. It is Bastille Day! Wow! Yeah, you're right. England, boo. That's fair, Ryan. I will never begrudge a Scottish person or a Welsh person or an Irish person being like, yeah, I want England to lose. Or an Indian person or a Pakistani person or a Palestinian person. It's kind of hard to begrudge anyone who's like, no, I want England to lose. I get it. I get it. That makes complete sense to me. Tess with a $5 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much, Tess. You said if enough people ask you to feed them wet food, you will. Can you try? I feel like that video would be hilarious. I mean, yeah, I can do it. I mean, I just don't like wasting food is the problem, Tess. That's the issue I have with it. I laughed when USA lost. Yeah. My brother and I were like actively rooting against the US. It was a lot of fun. And he's in the Navy, which is kind of awesome. Active military service. And he was like, yo, we need to lose, which is awesome. What's your favorite country other than yours? I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question. I will say the country I visited most growing up was the UK. Yeah, I would spend about 2 months every year there, just exclusively because my family's there. My dad was British, so my grandma and my uncle lived there, obviously, and I would just spend like 2 months every summer at my grandma's house, and I loved that. We would also go to France all the time, like at least once a year. My dad lived in France for like 7 years before I was born. So, we had a ton of connections there and, he spoke the language, etc. So we'd pop down to France. Those are the two countries I've been to most in my life. So I have a lot of affection for them. However, a few years ago, I went on vacation to Norway and I was like floored. I loved it. And a few years ago, I went on vacation to New Zealand, and I love New Zealand. New Zealand might be my favorite country I've ever visited because it's everything I love about the UK and nothing I don't. You are so multicultural. Thank you, Pugsy. It's all a ruse. I just kind of over enunciate my words. If you over enunciate your words, it goes a long way for tricking people into thinking you're much smarter than you are. You wouldn't run up to a person on the street and start yelling in their face. Yeah, that's fair. How is Leia so calm with you yapping right next to her? She's used to me. Thank you, Goblin. Did you do theater in school? No, I didn't. You know what, though? My friends and I were film nerds. So I acted in a lot of, like, student movies. And I was very briefly a film major. That was in college. That was a whole thing. Because I started as an economics major, and then I switched to poli-sci, and then I switched to history. And then I was like, no, I want to be a film major. And that was a whole deal because I had to like submit all these forms and I had to apply to the art school of the school I was already enrolled in. and I got accepted, and I was a film major for about like 6 weeks, and then I was like, I just don't think it's too competitive of an industry. I can't do this, and I ended up going back to economics when it was all said and done. But I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was young, and I didn't know how I just didn't know enough. I was a kid. Ironically, I do have a lot in my core friend group. I have a lot of film majors. Because like I said, we were all the film nerds. We were way before the Criterion closet. That's in high school. That's like what we did with our allowance. We'd buy Criterion DVDs, and we'd be like, "Yo, you see Francois Truffaut's Breathless? That shit slaps!" Like we were shocker. No one wanted to date me, but ironically, like I'm kind of the only one who had like any quote career in film unquote. If you count like what I do now, making content. I think if it gives me any advantage, it's I understand a 3-act structure and can make a video that's 60 seconds long but still has a 3-act structure. But maybe that's just me loving the smell of my own farts. What do I know? Leia's ears are softer than they look, Hannah. Like Leia is literally the softest dog I've ever pet. Unironically. Have you been to Canada? I've been to Canada a bunch. I live in Seattle, so I'm only like 2.5 hours from the Canadian border. Ironically, I've only been to Vancouver once, and that was like 15 years ago, before I actually moved to Seattle. But I'm going to Vancouver again in October, so just for a long weekend. But I'm looking forward to it. Come to the island on October 3rd. Goblin, that's literally the weekend I'm going to be in Vancouver City. And I would love to, Goblin, unless you're cool with my entire wife's family crashing your wedding, which I don't think you would be. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss it. I'm sorry. The hoodies are also very soft. Love them. Oh, thank you, Mom's the Boss. Unironically, I wear the zip hoodies all the time. Like all the time. I love those things. And K. Yosef says, wait, what? You're married? I don't think so. I think it's just an extended delusion. Yeah. I don't know. I've not seen any evidence of it. Oh, wow. Coincidentally, I'm going to Port Edward Island on vacation this weekend. Well, oh, that's awesome. Have fun, Abhishek. Brainrot, thanks for shilling for my merch store. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Jonathan, how's Momathan? She's doing great. Thank you for asking, Manders. She's doing really okay. Thank you, Lils. The only surprise is that it's a wife. Fair, Goblin. Fair. Will be great to have them in the fall. Too hot and humid here. Sucky summer. It's been such a mild summer here in Seattle. Of course, we had 2 heat waves, 2 4-day stretches where it was in the 90s. And those were the 2. It was during that period when my air conditioning was broken. So that was like brutal. But the rest of the summer has been so mild. It's been really chill, actually, and like kind of chilly in the evenings. So when I walk the dogs in the evenings, I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing one of my zip hoodies. Wait, where'd Archer go? I was gonna go show Archer. He moved. When did he leave? Where'd he go? Okay, well, I don't know where he is. I wasn't paying attention, and he moved. So I guess we're just going to hang out with Leia. I'm sorry, everyone. He might be under my bed. He's probably under my bed. How is Carla? Carla's doing okay. My mom is trying to get Carla like more socialized, and she's not really having it. So, she's working with a trainer right now. My mom said that Carla is like quite depressed. She's like, Carla won't leave the bedroom. And when, for context, sorry, everyone, my mom had a pair of dogs, Carla and Mina. They were litter mates. And about 6 weeks ago, Mina quite suddenly passed away. She went from being like perfectly healthy to gone in like 5 days. It was really quick and unexpected. Um, and she was like 8 years old. So for me, that's still pretty young. And so Carla, the other sister, has just been like kind of grieving. And apparently, dogs can grieve for anywhere from like up to like 3 or 6 months, which is crazy to me, but that makes total sense. Um, and she was like, yeah, Carla just won't leave the bedroom. And she loves spending her time in the living room, or at least she did. But now she just won't come out of the bedroom, basically. So my mom's working with a trainer and all of this to try to get her more socialized and just kind of expand her life. But my mom still walks her like 2-3 times a day and that sort of thing. So they weren't really barking ether fucks. Well, I guess they were. It's really just Leia who will like pound on the glass. She pounds on this window here at night until I get up and go tend to her. It has been a crazy summer in Arizona where I live. I have not hit the 100 yet. Oh, okay. Well, that's good, Maggie. Yeah. How are you doing, by the way, Maggie? How are things? Carla, I feel you. I don't want to get out of bed most days either. Yeah, I mean, I feel you, Abhishek. Yeah. Has Simba moved? Yes, unfortunately, Simba has moved. I viewed it. So Simba no longer lives next door to us, which is a big time bummer. Big time bummer. I know. Leia misses her boyfriend. But I see Simba's mom's Instagram stories. We still follow each other on Instagram, and she's out there taking Simba on a run, an 8 mile run at 5 in the morning. So Simba's still living his best life. Can you take Leia for a drive, or is it just Archer? It's just Archer. Leia would never in a million years tolerate that, Hannah. Never ever. She doesn't like to be pet when she's sleeping. There are some exceptions to this. Okay. This is how weird Leia is. Or not weird, but quirky Leia is. So see where she's sleeping here? That's a no-go. You're not allowed to touch her. If she's on her couch here, no-go. Not allowed to touch her. If she's on her bed inside, no-go. Not allowed to touch her. However, if she's on my couch in the living room, go nuts. Do whatever you want. If she's on my bed, go nuts. Do whatever you want. She wants you to pet her. She wants you to cuddle with her. But like right now, if I were to touch her, she'd get very annoyed with me. Solution: move to where Simba is. I mean, they're still in Seattle. They just don't live next door anymore. So kind of street scarf. I had that thought. Yeah, Hopi Lopi. Well, her Simba's mom is an athlete. She was a D1 athlete, which is a big deal. And yeah, I look at all of her Instagram stories and I see all the stuff that she does physically, and I'm just like, I want to be you when I grow up. Like, damn, very impressive. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking, and your Instagram stories have helped. Thank you. That's so sweet of you to say, Maggie. Thank you. She is, yeah, goblin. I mean, I don't want to give away too many details of this woman. I don't want to dox her, without her permission. But she was a great neighbor, and I'm sorry they don't live next door anymore. They were really wonderful. Who the dog in the background? I don't actually know the dog's name. They live kind of catty corner to me. They like over there, and that dog barks all the time. Actually, one time, like years ago, like 5 years ago, I had that woman knock on my door and be like, Did you leave a note on my doorstep about my dog barking? I was like, no, I didn't. No, I did not. And then she was like, well, I try to control my dog, and I blah, 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 and like was kind of like yelling at me a little bit. And I was like, I didn't leave that note. I don't know what you're talking about. And then like Archer appeared in the doorway as I was talking to her, and she kind of calmed down when she saw Archer, and she was like, oh, okay, all right, I see. And I was like, yeah, I have dogs too. I don't care. It's not a big deal to me. And she was like, okay, well, I don't know who left the note. And I was like, I have no idea either. I'm sorry. Like, I don't even notice your dog barking. And that's the truth. Like, I really don't. And then she left. And then like 4 days later, I was talking with the woman who used to live in Simba's house. And she was like, yeah, you hear that dog barking all the time in that house down there? I went and left a note. I was like, oh God, it was you. Oh God, it was you. So that was a very funny moment for me, because this woman was so mad at me when she thought I'd left the note, and eventually she believed me that I didn't and calmed down. And then my other neighbor was like, yeah, I left a note. That dog's always barking. It's just very funny. I didn't tell her that the woman had knocked on my door. I was like, hey, not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm staying out of this. You guys figure this out on your own. Adjacent is just next to. Diagonally adjacent is specifically the well diagonals. Yes, their backyard corner touches my backyard's corner. That's how I would describe our relation spatially to this dog. Only time I saw Archer being most vocal is when you went to Simba's house. Yeah. Remember the scene from Dexter? Ended great for the dog, not so well for the human. Yeah, I don't remember enough about Dexter. I remember really being into it for like 3 seasons, and then not, or like 2 seasons and not caring. The Jimmy Jimmy Spitz. What's that actor's name? It's either Spitz or Smits, and I can't remember. Whatever. The guy who was on NYPD Blue. Anyway, him. That season is where I like stopped caring about Dexter. Plot twist. Your neighbor is one of your YouTube followers, and now are looking to find the note leaver. Actually, my across the street neighbor, they moved in, and then like a month later, they walked across the street as I was getting out of the car to introduce themselves. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't come and introduce myself when you first moved in. I'm really rude. I apologize for that. And they're like, no, it's okay. And then the one woman was like, also, I follow you guys on Instagram. I was like, oh, cool. And she showed up in a YouTube live once to say hi, like a year ago. Anyway, they're really lovely. How do Leia and Archer feel about Dubs, the UW mascot? I think they're great with Dubs, even though Dubs is actually a Malamute. But there are a lot of people on the internet who are like, sorry, Leia's a Malamute. I'm like, oh, she's actually a Siberian Husky. And they're like, no, she's a Malamute. Like, people get mad about it? I'm like, okay, whatever you say. Jonathan, do you get any sleep at all? You good, bro? Listen, Amanda, sincerely, I have struggled with sleep my entire adult life. Like 5 to 6 hours has always been the norm for me. I really hope I don't die young. I would love to live forever. That would be cool as hell. But my sleep habits are not great, and they've never been great. So it's always been a struggle for me. Leia, you gotta pick where you're gonna go so I can adjust the camera accordingly. Okay. All right. Here we go, Leia. This is better. Jonathan, I was wondering when you'd be streaming again. Well, I'm streaming right now, Wolfos. Did you ever think about getting a Pomsky? No. I'm kind of like, just get a cat. I like big dogs. And any dog I have, I'm sure I would like fall in love with. You know what I mean? I just love animals. But I'm like, big dogs are like, they're awesome. I love that, like, the size of dog I want, the minimum size of dog I want is a dog who can sit on the couch next to me and I can put my arm around them. You know what I'm saying? Puck was a husky. Puck was a husky mix. He was half husky, quarter border collie, 1/8 German Shepherd. That was what Puck was. No, Puck was named after Midsummer Night's Dream. Wolfos. Any plans for Twitch streaming? Want to see the rest of First Light? Yeah, Sky Jellyfish. Yes, very much. Very, 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 very much so. I will be streaming on Twitch this month. We'll be back into it. I honestly, I've already written the schedule for July and August, and I was gonna publish it last week because I was planning on streaming every day last week, and then I had another massive project fall in my lap. And so I was like, okay, well, now I got to get through this thing. So I'm wrapping up that project now, and then I can kind of devote the rest of my time for the rest of the summer to content creation, which I'm very excited about. And inclusive of that is streaming on YouTube and on Twitch. So, yeah. Oh, I love Final Fantasy 16, Wolfos. I love Torgal. And yes, I'm very excited about Revelations. In fact, I had an idea, fueled by Stardust, where I was like, you know what? Maybe I just stream every single game in the Final Fantasy VII series. Maybe I start with the PS1 game, and then I do, like, Dirge of Cerberus and Crisis Core and Remake and Rebirth and Revelations. And then there's that mobile game, but I'm not going to do the mobile game. There's some long old games. You have trouble sticking with them. Thanks, Sky Jellyfish. Do you play Deltarune? You know, I just bought Deltarune last week, Vess. I've not played it, but I would love to. Do you play any MMOs? Yes. World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, how do you like them, Goblin? I only played the first one. I loved it. Gonna lurk, because Risk playing up. LOL, have a good rest of the stream. Oh, thanks. Thanks for being here, Brainrot. Oh, wow, proper FF nerd then. Oh, yeah, Abhishek. Listen, Abhishek, everything I have ever learned about love, I learned from Final Fantasy VIII. Period, end of sentence. Okay. I main Alliance. Katya. I still play on the same character I made back in Vanilla. Vanilla. Yeah, I haven't beat First Light Vigilant. I was playing it on stream. I had so much fun with it. I want to get back to it. I haven't beat it yet, though. Deltarune has some of the best soundtracks. I'm not surprised. What's the guy's name? I want to say Toby Fox. Is that his name? Yeah, Wolf Rose. Of course I played Chrono Trigger. Oh my god. Chrono Trigger is such a good game. Takes on the Love Island finale. I have not watched any of this season, Mary, of either Love Island UK or Love Island US. None of it. So I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I don't know what anybody's up to. I don't know any of the characters. I don't know any of the drama. I'm being so serious. June and July, all I have been doing is walking dogs, making videos, or working. I have not been gaming. I've not been doing anything else. That's like it. That is all I have been doing. So yeah, it's been a very busy summer for me. How do you feel about the Xbox situation? Released so many employees, id Software got hit too. I mean, I feel awful about it. I mean, I think it has been just terrible management on their part. If I blame any one person, I blame Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. But it's capitalism. I don't know what to tell you. It's real bad. It's real bad. So Huskies are way better than video games. I agree. That's an X. I love video games. So, yeah. That's how much I love Huskies. Oh, I have no idea where Archer is. My house is kind of a mess right now. I'd take the camera through and try to find him, but it's a little bit messy. We don't need permanent record of that. What about Huskies and video games? Yeah, there's a depressing lack of Huskies in video games. Has Leia taken any of your socks recently? Oh, Maggie, I'm so glad you brought this up. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. I'll leave the mic with Leia. I'll be right back. Leia, you chat with them. I'm back, Leia. Okay. Good girl, Leia. Thank you. Okay, so I did post this on an Instagram story, but I didn't post it anywhere else. But Bounce, like the dryer sheets, they sent me a big care package out of the blue. Now, I this isn't sponsored or anything. I did do sponsored content for them like 2 years ago, which is how I think they got my address. Probably. I'm pretty sure that's how they got my address. Really hope they don't dox me. But anyway, they like sent me a big care package. There was a bunch of stuff in it. You can see they sent me this like custom box, which isn't really a custom box. It's just a sticker. But I'm just showing you this so that you can see this picture here, which is Archer and Leia. And they went deep. This is on my Instagram account, but they had some intern like scroll way back. I think I posted this in like 2019, 2020, something like that. And they found this picture, right? And then they got custom embroidered socks with Leia's face on them. And you can see, hang on, I'm trying to hold the mic and do this at the same time, but I'll show you when they're side by side. It's the same picture. Right? Like, look, they just took the picture of Leia and they made these custom embroidered socks. So I'm like, dang. Okay, Bounce. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. It's very occasionally I'll get sent stuff from brands, just like gifts. Really, it's only happened twice. Like Milkbone sent me a little package which had a blanket on it that Leia actually sleeps on a lot. And now Bounce has sent me this box. There was also a hoodie that had Archer and Leia on it, and these socks. But I really unironically like the socks. Now, I've not worn them yet, but I'm kind of like, I know at some point Leia's going to steal these socks from me. I don't know when, but I know at some point. Yeah, they had this whole thing where they were like, hey, if you post about it, it would be... I know you don't need to post about it, but if you wanted to post about it, that would be cool. So I think I might do a post because unironically, like the socks are awesome. That is such a nice touch because it's embroidered. That's crazy. New merch idea: Archer and Leia socks. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Moms to Boss. I wasn't, because I'm using Fourth Wall for merch. I wasn't wowed by these socks on Fourth Wall. I wasn't super jazzed by them. That's the only reason why Archer and Leia socks don't exist right now. Jonathan, thanks for telling us about Leia's nose bump. It is a great feature. Thank you, Amanda. No, they're my favorite. Or her nose bump is my favorite. Yeah. Ask Bounce to do it. I might, Lisa, what, I'm going to level with you. I want them to sponsor me because Archer's got that dental surgery coming up in October. So I would love, I would love it if brands would cover that. That would help my content be more sustainable. I have some sponsored content coming up. I'm working with a startup right now, and actually a Seattle-based startup. They're very cool. I've got their prototype model. They gave me their prototype model to do testing for them. It was like beta testing. which is like basically it's a fan that you stick on your car window that is great for like a Seattle summer or like an Arizona winter, is how they described it. At keeping your car cool while you're not in it, so that like it's safe for you to leave your dogs in there. Now, if it's like a Dubai summer, absolutely not. Like that, no. If it's like 113 degrees Fahrenheit outside, no, this isn't gonna stop your dog from dying. Oh yeah, I've been using it for 2 weeks, Maggie. I've been using it for 2 weeks. The one thing I will say, but peek behind the curtain, they were like, we want to get some footage of your dogs looking comfortable in the car with this running. And I'm like, that's not possible, because if I leave the car, they're upset. They're not upset because of the temperature. They're upset that I've left them and they're watching me walk away. So like I can't it's doing exactly what it advertises. I just don't have footage of them like looking happy and content because they're upset that they're alone. So Violet, thank you for the €6 super chat. Going to bed, still dreaming about owning a dog. I got my driver's license 1.5 weeks ago. Already covered 1,300 miles, 2,000 kilometers. Well, congratulations, Violet. Thank you for hanging out. Sleep well. Yeah, so I'm working with them on some content right now. And I also have HelloFresh sponsoring some of my YouTube videos coming up, which I've worked with them before. So those are the only 2 pieces of sponsored content currently in the works. But yeah, if Bounce wants to work with me, I'll make another video for them. I unironically buy their dryer sheets, so, you know. Yeah, they do. They do, Wolfos. What HelloFresh meals have you tried? I've tried a bunch. I really like their sandwiches. I don't remember what meals I picked. I'm getting the delivery like tomorrow, I think. So, yeah. Mrs. Jam, it's just a sticker. They just put a sticker on the regular box. But yeah, it is. I'm not complaining. But I love these socks. They crush it with the socks. Thank you, Claire. Well, I wouldn't listen. You've never tried any of my cooking, so I made a Cajun dish last night. I've been on this like one pot meal kick lately, where I've got this big, nice Dutch oven, this Le Creuset Dutch oven, and I was like, why do I make meals that require 7 pots? I should just make everything in a Dutch oven. So I've been trying out all these Dutch oven recipes recently, and I made one last night, which was great, except way too salty. And I know what I did wrong, where it called for like Cajun spices, and it gave me a recipe for like making my own Cajun spices, and I was like, I'm too lazy for that. I'll just use this Creole seasoning that I like. But it wasn't hot enough, so I kept adding more and more of this Creole seasoning, and I got it to a heat that I really liked, but there's salt in the Creole seasoning, and then the whole dish just came out too salty. I ended up adding too much salt. So if I do it again, which I will, I think I'm going to add more veggies. There weren't enough veggies for my liking, and I will actually just make my own seasoning, because that way I can control the salt better, get it to the heat I want, while controlling the salt. So, yeah. I'm gonna need your favorite one-pot meals, please. Yeah. I can do that. The one I've been making the most recently is kind of like, it's kind of like, I would describe it as like a deconstructed lasagna. And it's kind of like a vodka sauce, but it has less cream and cheese than when I make a vodka sauce. So I'll send some recipes. Yeah. I mean, making a Creole seasoning isn't hard. You just need like chili powder and cayenne and garlic. I mean, chili powder, cayenne, garlic. That'll go a long way for you. You know what though? I've been doing recently with my sauces, which I I never used to do this, and I've only started in like the last month, and I think it's now how I'm gonna make my sauces moving forward. I'll take a whole onion and I'll just throw it in the blender, and I'll basically make a raw onion puree, and then I add that to my sauces and cook it in there. And I've actually really been liking that. I've always had like, chunky onion in my sauces, and that's kind of nice for texture, but as far as just like melting into the sauce, I think I've been doing that for like the last month, and I kind of feel like I'm just gonna be doing that from now on. When's the last time you baked? It's been a minute, but I'm making some peanut butter cookies this week. I found a recipe I really want to try. I've been threatening to try for like a month now. And Mom's the Boss sent me a while ago a dog biscuit cookbook. And I'm going to make a couple of those. And I think I'm going to make a video out of it and just see. I don't think Leia's going to like any of them. I flipped through the book. I couldn't find a recipe there where I was like, I think Leia will like these. But I do think Archer will like them. So, yeah. So thank you, Mom's the Boss. Thank you for that. So, I will be baking this week. But I haven't baked bread in a long time, and I really love baking bread. So, yeah. I think a video of Leia rejecting your baking would still be funny. Yeah, well, you're going to get your wish. Don't you worry, Sky Jellyfish. Also, Sky Jellyfish, shout out. Don't think I haven't noticed, like, every third video you comment on YouTube, and your comments get like 600 likes, which is awesome. Have you gone to the post office recently? No, I tried to go on Friday. I'm very annoyed about this. Do you mean the post office or the P.O. box? Anyway, the post office, I went on Friday, and I was like, oh, post office closes at 5. And I did a quick Google, and Google was like, no, it closes at 6. It's like, I always thought it closed at 5. Okay. And so I went there at 5:30, and it was closed. They closed at 5. And I was like, Google lied to me. I would have gone earlier, but it lied to me. No, P.O. box, I haven't been in a while. But I don't think I have any packages waiting for me. I got your sign, Mom's the Boss. I got the sign that you sent me. So thank you for that. Which is hanging in the basement, the spare bedroom. Which was very sweet of you. You didn't have to do that. But that's the last thing Oh, that was it? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I thought I thanked you already. I apologize. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. You didn't have to do that. Asked this earlier, what do you feed Leia? I was looking for recommendations since my dog is a picky eater. I recall Leia being pickier than Archer. I don't have a good rec, honestly. No, Maggie, I actually haven't seen that woman working. The woman who always lost my packages, I've not seen her working there in a while. So, yeah, we're good. I don't really have a good rec. Right now I'm feeding them Honest Kitchen, but that changes just based on like, trying to get them to eat different stuff. Lately though, I've had to spike Leia's food with some puppy cheeseburger. It's a brand called St. Rocco's. And they make they make cheeseburger, they make salmon, they make meat lovers. Those are the 3 that I've seen. They might make more flavors, but those are the 3 that my treat store carries. And I usually buy them the puppy cheeseburger. I call it puppy cheeseburger. It's just called cheeseburger. And I just break it up into little crumbs basically and sprinkle it in her food, and that's how I get her to eat. Have you ever just tried completely raw? Yes, I have, Daniil. And it's the same thing. Leia is just such a picky eater. No, Leia is much more picky than Archer. But Archer has his moments. So, he can be quite picky. Can't you, Archer? We were looking for you. I told everyone that I was going to put you on camera, Bug, before we ended the live. Now you're stressing Leia out. Oh, he's not going to take your duck jerky, Leia. Archer, come here, Bug. Come see me, Archer. Oh, do you want me to fix the pillows for you? Hang on. Hang on, Bug. Mister, come on. Come on, Archer. Come on. I'll fix the pillows for you. Come on. Nope. He's going inside. Okay. Never mind. All right, everyone. We've been live for an hour and 10 minutes. It's after 2 here in Seattle. Is it? What time is it? Yes, it is after 2 here in Seattle. Spain just knocked France out of the World Cup. So I am going to get something to eat. I'm starving. I'm really hungry. I'm sorry, everyone. So I'm going to end the live now. I'm sorry, Kitty Coon. You just joined. You just joined and I'm ending the live. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Lavana. But I gotta eat some lunch. And I gotta get back to work. And the sooner I'm done with this project, the sooner I can just stream every day. So let me get it off my plate so that I can hang out with you guys. And stay tuned this month. I'm so excited about the YouTube videos coming down the pike this month. I'm really excited about them. So it's very different content from what I've made before. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And wait, please, one sec. What's up, Nox? Noxious. Bye, Maggie. Thanks for hanging out. Leia is annoyed. Yeah, she's always annoyed. Noxious, you gotta hurry up. I'm gonna end the live in a second. I'm holding out for you specifically. Bye, Bugs and Butts. And you, Jonathan. Thanks, Nico. Thank you, Mom Sabas. All right, Noxious. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go eat stuff. Guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for all the super chats. You're all so wonderful. I don't deserve you, but Leia does. Sorry there wasn't more Archer. And we'll talk soon. Stay tuned for the schedule for the streaming schedule for the rest of July and for August. I won't be quiet about that. But yeah, talk soon. Bye for now. Bye.